it's like the illusion of this big size makes the acceleration not feel as jagged or as terrifying. 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I got my hands on a 2024 Jeep Wagoneer. And yes, this is a big heavy hitter from Jeep. Introduced in 2022, recently after they dropped the Hemi. Condolences to the Hemi. Moment of silence real quick. Yes, the Hemi is gone, so we have been replaced by a 3-liter inline-6, 500 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque, roughly around those numbers, 8-speed automatic transmission, and as you can see, this thing is huge. Crazy to think that inline-6 is powering this thing, but yes, the inline-6 does have some turbochargers attached to it, so if you wanted to mod this thing up, you can probably make it faster 100% of the time. But look at the size of this thing. Yes, it is a very intimidating vehicle, and again, this thing competes with, let's say, the Durango, the Expedition, the Tahoe. And in your guys' humble opinion, do you think this thing really competes with them? Remote start? Very, very quiet. This thing also utilizes the same frame-on-frame suspension that the Ram 1500 has. But instead we have an independent rear axle, making it a little bit of a more smoother ride, you know? And looking at the finishes all around this car, it gives it a more premium feel, to be honest. And it still has that Jeep Wagoneer feel at the other day, but it's a little bit more premium. Coming up to the front, you can see our LED headlights, and you can see the little 2 bumps there. Makes it a little bit more sporty, but everything ties together to the point where it feels Jeep-like. And if you're wondering, this is what our paint looks like. It's not bad. The paint is not the most fanciest part, but everything just kind of ties together well to the point where, you know what, it's nice. It's not bad at all. This is what our key looks like, and we're going to quickly open up the trunk. This is 3 rows, so it's definitely a big boy for sure. Hopping inside, you can see that exactly, we have a lot of space, to be honest. Nothing crazy going on in like the trunk area. If you fold these seats down, you have so much space. Your button is over here, so you don't have to go around looking too much. It's cold, very cold outside. It's like -10. I don't know why I'm outside, but here we are. Prefer leather seats all around. Press this button to get the bag, which is nice because I don't have to pull a lever all the time. And I like how there's so much space back here compared to, let's say, the Expedition. I would say this one has the most space in the combination. Alpine sound system all around, and I would say this would be wood, but this looks more aluminum than wood. It's supposed to look like a silverish wood, but it's just that essentially. Hopping inside. Turn down my fan so that you guys can hear me talk a bit. But this is what our screen looks like. Good 12 inches of screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get some storage down here, wireless charging down here. Push to start, your steering wheel. We don't have paddle shifters, but you can select your gears. It gives it, like, looking around, it's fancy. It's not bad at all. But 0 to 60, I'll say it comes in a good 5 to 6 seconds. Because again, this thing is still 500 horsepower and it's still a big, quick car. And if you're wondering of our 3-point turn test, we're gonna give you a little bit of that and a horn test while we're at it. Okay. So we're gonna do a quick 3-point test. Okay, now break the steering wheel and go. Not bad though. We have a pretty decent turning radius for such a big car like this. And it's still okay. Let's go for a little drive first before I go too long talking about this thing, because let's quiet down and just experience this car. I'm still gonna miss the Hemi, I'm really not gonna lie. The Hemi was arguably the coolest engine ever to come out of Dodge and Jeep. But of course the Viper still exists, right? So, well, the Viper doesn't exist, but when the Viper was around, that was the coolest engine Dodge had. then the Hemi. But still, we're gonna have to give the Hurricane a little bit of a chance, you know. We can't just say that, oh, the Hemi all the way. We can't do it. But as you can see, I put myself into sport mode with my lever down here. Let us do a quick little 0 to 60 and then head onto the highway and do another quick little pull. Let's get onto a flat enough terrain. Now, where are my signals? Here we go. I'll wait for this car to pass by. Nobody behind. Well, there is somebody coming up, but it's gonna be in 3, 2, 1, go. Damn, this thing squats. It's like Jeep Airlines all of a sudden. Damn. The thing is, the force was enough to make me realize how quick I'm moving, but not enough to terrify me or my passengers in any way, shape, or form. They just realized that, oh, we're taking off kind of quick now. Everybody keep doing what you're doing, and as we go. Thing is, it's not terrifying. This car, though it doesn't hide its weight in any way, shape, or form, it is still so smooth and so soft. I can do a lot with this thing, to be honest. And the thing is, that acceleration, that quick little acceleration, might have scared some people, especially with the power output numbers we have going on. Another 3-point turn. It's not terrifying. And like I said, since this thing doesn't really hide its weight very, very well, you're still in a behemoth of a monster driving this thing. Some people love it, some people hate it. I do not mind it whatsoever. It's fine, it's simple. We also have adaptive cruise control. We have so many assists going on, and as you can see, I turned on my heated seats because I need those right now. My feet are dead, well, cold, to be honest. We have our Alpine sound system. Everything about this car feels premium, and I think Jeep and Stellantis in general is trying to market to the upper echelons of society, not really the high echelons, but above the middle class at least, because buying something like this on a middle class wage is possible, but it's just it's more for the upper middle class and the upper class of society, essentially, which kind of sucks, because Jeep used to be the one where anyone could come in and get something. If you wanted a Jeep, you could go and get yourself a Wrangler for your daughter, for your son. It was a car that the common folk could afford. Now, as in the direction they're going, it's going to be a little bit more premium, a little bit more pricey, a little bit more extra to be a Jeep owner. And again, we should talk about the build quality of these things. Like, touching everything around me, it's all pretty solid, and it's all soft touch material, so you can tell they're putting effort into it, and they are slowly getting to the point where you gotta respect it. Like, hey, Jeep has stepped up their game quite a bit, and this thing dropped in 2022, so by 2024 they had 2 years to perfect every little thing. The first years, of course, as we all know, are not always the best years, because at that point they still have so many bugs to fix. They're still trying to get the production as efficient as possible, and still trying to secure the proper materials. But after a good 2 years, the Wagoneer has kind of made a proper namesake for itself. This thing competes again with the Tahoe, the Suburban, the Expedition. These cars have been around for quite some time, so for Stellantis to go this route, I rock with it, I love it. And it's not as terrifying to drive as you may think. Yes, I still feel a little bit of an ego rush go through my head every time I'm driving this thing, because I am way, way bigger than anything on the road 90% of the time. I have more power than anything on the road 90% of the time. And this thing is very, very confident, to the point where I wouldn't give this car to a new driver for obvious reasons. It's expensive, it's pretty powerful, but I can still understand the perspective they're trying to put out, for lack of a better word. But since we're kind of like in slow-ish traffic, we're gonna get our cruise control ready, which is very simple to set up and set. Gonna get my adaptive cruise control up and running as well, which again, I'm pretty sure they've improved on it, because the last one I had filmed the very first generation of the Wagoneer, and the cruise control was a little bit finicky. Maybe the sensor was dirty, I do not know. I was about to rear end somebody and I wasn't, and I'm not gonna try and do it again. But essentially right now it is still a very good car, and the cruise control works. It really does work. It's slowing itself down right now. But let us cut this part out and head onto the highway, do a quick little pull and call it a day. Okay, so we have hit the highway. I'm honestly like, since I expected to handle like a truck. I'm not gonna lie, I've expected to handle like a very smooth truck. And again, it has frame, it legit has the exact same frame of a truck, but with independent rear suspension, well, axle, whatever. Quick big bugger, holy. Damn. Bugger is quick. I ain't gonna lie, bugger is quick. Very quick. It's like the illusion of this big size makes the acceleration not feel as jagged or as terrifying. But this thing still accelerates like you're getting smacked by a box full of bricks. Again, it has the aerodynamics of a brick, I'm not gonna lie. But it is still a quick vehicle. And you know what? Jeep and Dodge know what they're doing with this Hurricane engine. And I feel like this thing has so much potential to put out more and more power. Like, again, people aren't probably buying this thing to modify it, make it go faster or anything. They're buying it because they want a family cruiser. That's good. Decent on gas. Well, this was not the most decent thing on gas, but it's okay on gas if you're not stepping on it like me every second they get the chance. Like, if I'm gonna show you guys how much gas I've been using, roughly 15.1 liters for every 100 kilometers. That is a lot of fuel being used, especially by me. And if this person can, well, I'm just gonna accelerate and overtake you because I do want to get off the highway now. But this has been just a quick little review of the Jeep. Like, subscribe, give me more tips, because I've reviewed this car before, so it's kind of like a rinse and repeat. So I'm gonna try and get my hands on more cars and just see how that goes, because again, it's winter time. I can't get the most fanciest cars, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll get a Storado somehow. Maybe I'm gonna get my hands on a Storado somehow by pure sheer luck. Anyway guys, take care, peace.